Hey explorers, on this episode we're going to be learning about Newton's third law of motion. And then I'm going to show you how to make these cool rockets right at home that actually work. So get ready and let's make homemade science. Rockets. They're fast and they're cool. But have you ever wondered how rockets can fly? What makes them go up? The key to how these can fly is Newton's third law of motion. It says that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. What does that mean? Okay, think of it this way. I'm sitting in a chair, so I'm pushing down on the chair with as much force as the chair is pushing back up on me. It's an equal force, but opposite direction. Think of it another way. Every time you jump, you're pushing down on the ground while the ground is pushing up on you. When you push down on the ground and you lift your legs up, you go up in the air. It's an equal force, but opposite direction. So what does all this have to do with rockets? Well, rockets have a type of fuel in them. Watch how the fuel catches fire. This is called igniting. When the fuel ignites, the flames and exhaust push downward. Because every action has an equal and opposite reaction, the downward force of the exhaust pushes the rocket up. It's an equal force in the opposite direction. This movement is called thrust, and it's what makes the rocket go up. So this is just a basic understanding of how Newton's third law of motion works, that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, an equal force in the opposite direction. So now it's time to make our own rockets. So here's what you're going to need. A film canister or any container with a snap lid on it, water, and seltzer tablets. I decided to use these old bubble wand containers that I found around the house because I didn't have any film canisters that actually worked. I actually found some old film canisters that I decided to try, but they were a total flop. Really, any skinny container will work as long as it has this snap lid on it. It can't screw on, otherwise it's just not going to work. You need to be able to build the pressure up in the canister and have the lid pop off. So this part's optional, but to make it extra cool, I decided to add a nose cone and some fins. I used color construction paper, glue, and markers to decorate the rockets. First, I cut the bubble wands off the lids. Then I rolled paper around the canister and marked where I needed to cut. Cut and glue it around the canister. Then use hair elastics to keep it on while the glue dries. Then I cut a triangle to make the nose cone. I got some extra help from some little hands. I decided to use hot glue at this point because it dries faster. But please, make sure you have an adult help you if you use hot glue. Then just glue it to the top and trim the excess. Then I cut more triangles for the fins. I folded one end so I could glue it on the rocket. Then just decorate. So here they are, your bubble container rockets ready to blast off. So as you've already seen, this is the finished product. Now let's go outside and see how they work. All right, so we're here outside with our rockets. Here, you want to hold your rocket? And we're going to blast these off. But before we do, a couple of ground rules. First, make sure you're outside. These are going to shoot pretty high, so make sure you're outside so you're not going to hit anything inside or break anything or make a mess. Second, make sure you have an adult help you. Ask an adult for help because these are going to shoot really high with a lot of pressure, and a lot of pressure builds up in these canisters. So we want to make sure that we have an adult help us, right? Yep, always ask for help. Never put your face over this canister. There's going to be a lot of pressure and you don't want to put any part of your body over the front or over the top of this canister because we don't want anyone to get hurt, right? All right, so we got our adult. I guess that'd be me. We're outside and are we ready to shoot our rockets? All right, let's do it. All right, so now it's time to shoot off our rockets. First, we're going to take our water and fill it up about a third of the way up. We don't need to fill it up. We want the air pressure to build up. So you don't need a whole lot of water in there, just enough to make the seltzer tablet fizz. Now we're going to take our seltzer tablet. We're going to take our seltzer tablet and break a piece off just enough to fill the canister. Now I'm going to put this in and we need to act fast because once the pressure starts to build up, we want to make sure we close it and get out of the way as fast as we can. I'm going to put it in. Put the lid in. Close it tight. All right, let's get out of the way. So it actually worked. It went up. Was that pretty cool? Yeah? All right. So why did that actually happen? Here's what happened. The seltzer tablet released carbon dioxide gas when it touched the water. The pressure of the gas built up until the canister couldn't hold it anymore. When the lid popped off, the water sprayed out the bottom. The force of the water pushing down caused the canister to push up. An equal and opposite reaction. Just like a real rocket, except a little bit safer. Did this seem cool? Go ahead and try it for yourself.
And now, it's time for Creation Exploration, where we see the Creator in creation.
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork.
Galatians 6:7 part B says, "For whatever one sows, that will he also reap." Newton's third law of motion tells us that every action has a reaction. Well, God's word tells us that we reap what we sow, or every action has a consequence. That's why we need to be very careful of things that we say or do, because they have consequences. Sometimes they're good, and sometimes they're bad. But isn't it cool how we can see God's word and science come together? Well, that's all the time we have for now. I hope you enjoyed making some science at home. And remember, the creation always points to a creator. We'll see you next time. That didn't work.
Bubble. Planet.